Hey, it's Bill, and I'm going to tell you about 5 new features that Google added to Meet in the middle of September 2020. Right now, I've already started a Meet, and I'm in a Meet. First feature I want to talk about is the ability to see up to 49 people in your Meet. To do that, you go down to the bottom right corner of your Meet. You see the 3 vertical dots, click on those. And you go up to Change Layout. So once I'm on Change Layout, either auto or tiled, you notice the slider at the bottom. If there's more than 9 people in my Meet, I'll only see 9 people right now because it's set for that. I can set it down as low as 6, up to 9, 16, 30, 42, or all the way up to 49. So I will be able to see up to 49 people in my Meet as long as I have one of these top 2 choices selected and this slider all the way over here. You also might wonder if you want to see yourself in the Meet. If right now I'm the only one here, so you can see me. But in the top right-hand corner, this little grid button will either put you in the grid or take you out of the grid. Only for you, just affects how you see it. Just like that 49 view auto, only how you see it. Your students in the class have to do that for themselves if they want to see the grid and have a class discussion with everyone in the class. The second new feature I wanted to talk about is over here on this shield. Google gives you a few host controls. So I'm going to click on the shield, and the first one I see is Quick Access. Quick Access means anyone with a sachem.edu account can join your Meet if they have the Meet code. You do not have to let them in. By virtue of having a Sachem address, they get right in. That's usually pretty convenient, especially if you leave the Meet code up at the top of your Google Classroom. You can just click on it when it's time to join, and they're ready to go. You might want to throw the Quick Access off. That means you manually have to admit everyone into your class, whether they have a Sachem account or not. So what I use that for? Maybe if I was having a small group instruction, I only wanted to have a few kids at once, I could have them join or send them a little message in my stream that says, hey, remember we're meeting at 10 this morning. If they join, I manually admit the ones that are supposed to join, and I don't have to admit the others. A way around that too is to use an invite. We'll look at the invite in a few seconds after we're done with this menu. I'm going to leave it on for now, and we'll come back and talk about that. This other ability is students to share screen. So that's the Present Now button. Right now, students in this position, and the default position is students can always present their screen. So if I'm presenting my screen, maybe I actually physically walk up to my smartboard, I start doing things there. Students do have the ability to change and take that away from the Meet, and they can start sharing their own screen. If that turns out to be a problem, I can always switch this off. In the middle of the meeting, while it's active, the Present Now button goes away for the students. So if I'm sitting at my computer and presenting, I see everything that's going on. If I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, go over to the smartboard and start doing some things there, maybe I turn off the share screen so that I know everyone's watching mine, or at least has the ability to watch mine, and then go and present. This other control is for chat messages. Students can always see the chat, but if I were to throw this into the off position, students will no longer have the ability to write in the chat. So sometimes I'll just leave that on. I mean, students might have a problem hearing or with their microphone, or maybe you just want them to type because you want to see if they can spell things. You leave the chat on. Students are able to type as often as they like. You can turn that on and off on the fly in the Meet. So if I'm at the computer monitoring the chat, I can leave it on. And when I go to the board to maybe present at the board, maybe I'm not going to be able to monitor the chat, I could throw that switch and turn it off. Now, these are also in a couple other places for your convenience. If I happen to be in the chat, I come over to the chat window in the top right corner. I see the bar for letting people chat or not chat right here. So I can send any kind of message that I like, be monitoring the chat. It's time for me to go do something at the board. I don't want the chat to be unmonitored. I just throw the switch right here. Immediately, the students can no longer send any chats. Their ability to click down here on the bottom goes away. They can still read any chats that are there. If you have any links or anything in there, they can still read everything. And then when I'm done presenting at the board, I'm coming back to the computer. I can monitor my chat again. I just throw it back on so students have the ability to chat again. While I'm over here, if I go to the People tab, this is another place where I can find the host controls. So if I happen to be here, I don't have to mouse down to the shield. I could also bring up host controls right here. Now, earlier I mentioned that the quick access on or off right here in this People tab. So if you didn't have this open at all, People tab is right here next to the chat. I could go ahead and add people here as well. So if I were to keep a quick list of my groups, maybe in a sheet or maybe something I might have exported out of eSchool, and where it says add people, I can go ahead and click and add the list of people. So I can hit Control V or right click and paste, however you like to set those up. Here it goes ahead and shows me these students, and it says send email. Email might be on for your students. It might not be on for your students. It doesn't matter. I can hit the send email button. Those students are automatically invited. Meet knows those are the people who can get into this without me having to manually approve each one. The last feature that Google added, the fifth feature, was if I remove someone from a Meet, that person is not going to be able to rejoin. All right, so those are really the 5 updates. That's about it for now. Hopefully you're off to a good start of the school year, having a good day, and we'll talk to you again soon.